Hello and welcome once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 92, part 2, for November 10th, 2013. My name's Tony. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Mark and Jason. And, are you doing the creepy stare again, sir?
This one's not creepy.
It's
just
lust
in my eyes.
Lust, just love. This, of course, is part 2. In the event you have yet to do so, please do pause the video or click out later or come back at a different time. Really doesn't matter. To part 1, where we do discuss this week's news as well as cover the readers' burning questions. But this, of course, is part 2, where we cover Tony's topic of the week. I had to give it a little extra special oomph. Much like
Where Mark orgasms.
yeah, this is the last Tony's topic of the week of the 7th generation.
You sound like fucking Doctor Who now.
It's sad. It's sad. By next Sunday, the next generation cometh.
And the old generation
That was 2 weeks
goes
ago.
away.
Huh?
The title of part 2 was Next Gen Cometh.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, last week we said goodbye to the PS3. And I know it's still 2 weeks away from the exit of the 360, but we figured we'd do it now because next week we're going to want to be talking PS4.
Yep.
So, today is our fare thee well to the 360. The first entry of the 7th gen, and most people's favorite. Okay. Initial thoughts. Please don't go too deep into like we did last week.
Just tip?
Just the tip.
Just the tip, then.
Go, Mark.
Xbox.
It's good, yeah.
Great memories with you.
I like how that's become a
It's
thing.
never gonna die. It's pretty good, Tony.
It's good.
How did that start?
I don't even know.
Something that he didn't know what he was talking about.
It's pretty good,
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, something along those lines. It was where I started my 7th generation with my 360. Went through 3 different ones.
We'll get to all that, Dick.
And
Just a tip.
I liked it.
I like a lot. Oh, go ahead, Cyrus. It's all you, sir.
Okay. Was not an original Xbox fan. Got my original white 360 pre-owned from a friend and never looked back.
Yeah,
Never looked back.
I
With exception of the last 6 months, where I've started using my PlayStation, it has been 360 nonstop.
yeah.
All day 6 bucks.
Right here.
I'm a huge fan of the 360. It's one of the best consoles ever made, in my opinion.
You know what I love? That you have to pay for Xbox Live.
What did everybody think about Brian going nuts last week? I thought that was awesome. I thought it was some of the 10 best minutes of Ford compatible.
And no, he's not
history.
here today, not because of what happened last week or anything like that.
I wanted him here today.
He couldn't make it.
I wanted to bring it back up now that we are talking about Xbox and kind of finish everything off.
He may not be here next week, but I reminded him of what next week is also. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I absolutely adore the 360. To me, it's equal to the PS3 on so many ways because this generation of the whatever 8 years or so, the first 5, much like Jason, but Jason went longer than me, were dominated.
Always go longer than him.
Yeah, we're dominated by the 360. Whereas the last 3 or 4 years, I started.
Your heart.
I always loved the PS3, but I think the PS3 really came into its own a little too late for its own good.
It was a late bloomer.
Yeah. Whereas the Xbox started off real strong and kind of struggled toward the end. But it was excellent having both. I loved this generation.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved it.
And thinking back, and I know the focus is Xbox this time, but when you really think back to it, and we touched on it a little bit.
We should do what we did last week, where it was a PlayStation store, and we just talked about Xbox nonstop.
Well, no,
now it's the Xbox. Let's just
had,
talk about PlayStation.
I had a little bit more time to kind of sit and
Yeah.
think about it. If there wasn't that 2-month blackout of PlayStation Network, would Sony have made the leaps and bounds that it did to kind of catch up and in some regards pass Microsoft? If it wasn't for that and them actually like putting the brakes on, reevaluating not only the security of the system, but generally like how the whole layout is, how everything worked on it, would they have been able to?
I don't know, because I think they were already I think the changeover process had already begun. I think the outage, maybe you're onto something, did help them advance quicker or at a different rate than they wanted to and push for an all new PSN. But I mean, the changes were already starting before the hack.
Yeah,
but they were premature at that time.
They probably would have rolled out in slower increments,
maybe.
Or some of them might not have had the chance to come to fruition because 2 months with the network down. They say they were scrambling to get back up, but in my mind, they were like, okay, this is an opportunity.
It's our chance.
Yeah,
let's fix everything. So, all right, let's. Do you guys want to start off with the 360 on the pluses or the minuses, the contributions or the failures?
Wherever
Let's do some contributions. We'll follow last week's show. The first and foremost, the thing I'll bring up is Xbox Live. Still the gold standard across the industry.
Because you get gold membership. That was the
alliteration. I like the 360 for many reasons, but Xbox Live really is a gorgeous thing. People complain a lot about it. $10 a month, blah blah blah. Since Xbox Live came out, it's been on sale every year at one point or another for like $40 for a year.
Amazon's almost always on sale.
I'm an idiot. For the past 3 months, I've been on the 1 month at a time.
It's rough.
And I keep forgetting until my statement comes through, and I'm like, fuck.
And
auto billing, that's negative.
But the last few years that I've been paying attention, like $30-$40, you can go pick up Xbox Live for a year. It comes around once a year, which works out really, really well because it's a 1-year membership. And when you boil down $40 across 12 months, it's not much money every month. It's not.
Like $8?
It's like $4.
I gotta give you some money for the next in 2 weeks.
Awful math skills, Mark. What?
I gotta give you some money in the next 2 weeks. You gotta let me $1 year of each.
No. And to me, it revolutionized the way that we game now. Even Nintendo, as far back as they are, they're getting closer to replicating what Xbox Live was doing in its early stage. Like 7 or 8 years ago. But yeah, so and PlayStation Plus caught up dramatically. I think it's still behind, and this is coming from a Sony fanboy. It's not as good as Xbox Live, but it's caught up quite a bit. PSN was a joke when it started. Xbox Live was always really, really good. I think it's better than even multiplayer on PC. Go ahead, Mark. Snap. It is. It's easier to get in games. It's faster. You don't have to go pick your server and wait for it and wait for it. It does everything for you. You gonna stab me?
You want to see a trick?
Boom! No, I really do. I think it's cleaner and easier to get into a multiplayer match on Xbox Live than anything else.
Yeah, the PC games definitely took the quick join and just fine really from consoles for the most part. Before that, I was
from Xbox Live.
Usually server listings and junk.
Yeah, it's not hard to get in a game on PC. I'm not trying to say that. I think it's far easier and faster on Xbox Live. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's because PC gives you a choice, and Xbox throws you where you want, or maybe not want to go.
Yeah, keep
no server loyalty or anything.
I did really want to touch on one thing that you said because you made me think, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but you said that Xbox Live revolutionized the way we play games. That's a positive and a negative.
Okay. What's the negative, sir?
Well, 13-year-olds.
This is like this is something I think they're trying to fix with Xbox One. I know that there's like they're gonna separate you. I got no problem playing.
I like the way GTA did it.
Where the bad players get that put with other bad players.
Yeah,
I got no problem playing with younger kids. It's that a
Sure,
vast majority of younger kids are
belligerent.
You guys know how they are. It doesn't mean every 10-year-old in the world can't just be a respectable, normal gamer that I can't have some fun with or whatever on the internet. It's that a majority of them, it turns into all these insults about my mom and how I'm gay and whatever the fuck they say on Xbox Live, and it's just a whole turnoff of the whole situation.
Yeah,
And
they can't spell.
Spelling is hard.
Like when they send you messages, it's very hard to decipher what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
It really kind of If you really want to insult somebody out there, 13-year-olds, spell. Your phones, your fancy little fucking iPhones and Androids and whatnot, has this wonderful thing called autocorrect.
Yep, it's true.
And
I turn mine off, but yes.
Your insults will mean so much more if we can read.
If they're grammatically and
if we can read and
spell
understand what you're trying to say to us.
Yeah.
And for the love of Christ, turn your fucking music off.
That I hate, but that's not 13-year-olds. That's everybody.
As soon as I get into a lobby, and this is part of the negative.
Just mute them.
No. As soon as I get in the lobby and I hear somebody playing their fucking music, I not only mute them, but then I give them a fucking bad review. I do. Because I don't ever want to be put with them again. Yeah.
Next gen. Or maybe it'll work the same way as it does its current gen and do nothing.
I think it's going to clean it up a lot. I really do. I don't think it's going to be as good as they're promising.
No, I don't
but I think it's going to be a hell of a lot better than what we have now.
But yeah, automatically, that's one of the things
Troll
that I
Jason
do.
day one giving a negative.
Go right ahead.
I
give no fucks.
Another...
I'm going to have no friends with fucking Xbox Ones besides this guy.
It's true. My buddy Scott.
And I don't know your buddy Scott, but I'm saying if you give me a negative, I'm going to give you a negative.
I don't ever review anybody.
I review everyone.
Okay. Better be nice to
you
Jason.
guys have thumbs up already, just so you know.
Thank you.
No wonder I was negative 10.
No. That's where Angry Andy loves that he has negative. It's like negative 76. And it'll go down, so then he'll be like positive 30 all of a sudden. He's like, God damn it!
Another big thing that everybody's starting to replicate was the online store. Microsoft's got worse over time.
They both did.
Yeah, they both did. PSN Store is a joke now, too. But Xbox was so clean and well interfaced because Microsoft's a software company, and that's what they do. I used to love it. It's not broken where you can't find stuff, but it's all hidden behind ads. And, there's clearly the games that they're pushing on people at certain times of the year and stuff. And, everything's an extra couple keystrokes away as opposed to being how clean it was when it first started. But that's another thing. Xbox Live set the standard with stores on consoles.
And TVs and everything.
I was going to say, I almost, and I may have my timeline wrong, I almost want to give Xbox and Microsoft credit for apps on mobile.
I think BlackBerry has that down.
Nobody uses BlackBerry.
BlackBerry is one of the most popular phones.
But you know what I'm talking about. But by offering entertainment and variety and videos, there's always been iTunes and things like that, and you could have had a Motorola Rocker back in the day, which accessed your iTunes library, but whatever. But I'm saying, as far as offering the variety of apps and the ability to access content and things like that, I almost want to say they did it before the mobile market, and maybe even the mobile market kind of took a page from them a little bit. I could be wrong on my timeline, but I don't think I think that I was downloading apps like Netflix and things like that on my Xbox ever before it came to mobile.
Well, okay, the iPhone came out in 2007.
Yeah, but the original iPhone had nothing.
Yeah, but it's a ripoff of the iPod Touch, which came out in 2006, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The 360 came out in 2005, so it beat Apple to the punch.
Yeah.
Android came out in 2008 or 9.
Huh? They didn't launch with Netflix app or anything.
We're not talking about that.
No, but I'm just generally
the way it's
the marketplace.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
Okay.
It very well may have. I don't remember because I didn't hop onto smartphones until like 2008 or 2009. I didn't have those early messes of phones that...
Like I did.
Yeah. Back then I was rocking Nextel because I work outside.
Yeah.
I used to love those. Those things were bomb-proof, but they didn't do anything outside of call and text.
Push to talk.
Yeah.
I love push to talk.
Me too. It was cool.
We need to get... There's apps. We can get... Tony, where the fuck are you?
Tony, where you at?
Masturbating. Stop it.
Cut it out. You're ruining my concentration. Now I have to start all over.
Anyways, because we're never 100% accurate on this show, it's all speculation and rumor. We're gonna go ahead and give a thumbs up on that.
We go off the top of it.
Thumbs up on that.
We don't fact check.
Yeah.
The next thing I was gonna bring up was apps, but we already kind of tied that in. But no, it's fine. This is what I was trying to talk to with Brian a little bit about yesterday or last week. I know he disagrees significantly, but in my opinion, they bring a lot of extra content that, sure, maybe Brian might be right. I don't think so, but he might be. I don't know because neither of us know the inner workings of Microsoft. But, like stuff like ESPN being brought up and HBO Go and, it's even shit that I don't use. Like the Xbox One has this new deal with Nike where they're bringing you that free
the workout
fitness thing.
I'm going to try it.
Shit like that. Like Microsoft goes out and gets these things, whether Nike initiates them or whether Microsoft initiates it or whatever. We don't know. We'll never know. But the point is, Microsoft does a lot of this stuff that nobody else does. People come around later, maybe, and replicate some of the stuff. Microsoft even goes out and gets like, it's not worth very much. I utilize them because I don't have cable, but like now there's like a CW app and like
I went for
a History Channel
I went for
app.
a year with my transition from moving to up here without cable. I utilized Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Go as my content providers for things. So, and I had Xfinity technically, but no, you're 100% right. They are relevant. Mm-hmm. Well,
to me, I still don't have cable, so so I don't have a DVR, and yeah, I could just torrent everything, and I do sometimes, but like, it's a lot easier. Yeah, there's a few commercials, but I like being able to chip in to the people who provide this content on occasion. So there's stuff like History Channel. I don't have cable, and I could watch all of the History Channel shit. You know what I mean? Like maybe History Channel was coming out with an app regardless, and Microsoft paid to keep it exclusive. But maybe Microsoft did go and say, "Hey, how about a History Channel app?"
I know I'm new to the whole torrent and all that shit. But I've always been a firm believer in you get what you pay for. You're paying for a service, and you get good quality out of it. Be it from the matchmaking that they provided, the extra security steps, because I've never had a problem. I know there were some issues with FIFA.
I've never had a problem with either one.
Never had any issues.
Oh, I did get hacked.
But they compensated you, and nothing happened because of it.
They overcompensated me. They gave me all my money back, plus they threw me like $20 or $30 bucks. And a month of gold.
Nothing's ever going to be 100% proof. No. Things like that will happen.
Stuff in the internet's always going to get
Their network didn't go down for 2 months, is what I'm trying to say. But in the bigger picture, yes, PlayStation, you can play games for free, you can access Netflix for free and everything like that. But Microsoft did it first, and you get what you pay for out of it.
And for a long time, they did it better. Like people.
I still don't like Netflix on the PlayStation 3.
People
interface.
quickly forget that it's actually a higher streaming quality.
I do it on my Apple TV, but I'm just saying, like compared to like the interfaces, I don't like it.
People quickly forget like how like those things used to require the DVDs and stuff. That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I mean, now
And what we mean by that is you actually had to physically put a Netflix like data disk in your
until the proper updates and shit came out.
To stream.
So I mean, there's shit like that. Like I don't use 90% of the crap, but it's cool. But
I've tried a majority of it. I delete a lot of it. But
there's so many apps. Like there's
so many to choose from.
There's a free horror movie app. Most of the movies on it are atrocious, but like it's
What's
just
the point?
Well, it's there, man.
There's Crackle. There's an anime app for free.
There's a ton of shit over there. There's Flickster. There's like so much that like you can't even use it all. There's so goddamn much, and they're promising more and more and more. It's like you're getting closer and closer to being able to cut the cord if a few more of these guys come for like
I said, I did it for a year.
Like HBO would make a gold mine if they just charged $5 or $6 a month for HBO Gold. Huh?
They were talking about doing that.
Q1
but
next year.
But if everyone did this, they wouldn't need Comcast and Time Warner and shit anymore. Like if I can go through, I want to pay for these channels. The problem is I'm not going to pay $100 a month for 100 channels that I only want 4 of. I'd rather spend $20 a month, $5 to the 4 content providers I actually want, and just have those. Yeah. And with these apps that Microsoft and stuff are pushing for, you're getting closer and closer to that, because before, the networks had no choice. The only way to get their content out was to make deals with the providers and package them in. Now they're cutting out the middleman. You don't need...
There used to be 7 HBOs. You remember that shit?
Yeah. You don't need these companies anymore with the internet. You can just pay for the apps channels that you want, and that's it.
And I mean, if you're smart, you're listening. There's 2 ways that this can go. Is you can either do it a la carte, or you can continue to pirate stuff. So they can, that's the whole point. Like, you want to pay for them, you're willing to pay for them.
I'm just not going to pay for all the extra shit.
But if they're not going to offer you it the way that you want, then why bother? Another feature that I'd like to throw out, and again, I understand in the world of torrents and everything, it's kind of irrelevant. But another really cool thing that Xbox does that I think Sony's just now starting to catch up with is you get movies 2 weeks early before release on DVD. So like I was absolutely ecstatic. I had Evil Dead 2 weeks before it came out on Blu-ray, and I had all the content and everything with it. Digital first.
See, and that's another thing I was trying to explain. Like that I think that's the kind of stuff where your Xbox Live money goes. Like Microsoft, sure, they had to pay a little to get that stuff, but the DVD has its DVD release date. Microsoft didn't say give it to us and then release it to the rest of the world 2 weeks later. They're like, oh, this is the date. How much do we owe you to have it streamable on our network 2 weeks earlier? That's
full out purchasable.
That's what I'm saying. That's where some of your... Sure, it's making a ton of money for Microsoft, but they are investing to give you different stuff. So I think the apps was cool. And the last big thing I could think of, and then... Oh, 2 things. They included a headset.
Yes. Which they are with the Xbox One.
Yeah, but now PlayStation's doing it too, so... PS4. But...
You meant the opposite way around. Xbox wasn't bundling it in at first.
The Xbox One was not, Either way,
Microsoft
brought that to the table.
They both are.
Yes.
And the biggest thing, the last thing, is the achievement system, which everyone from Steam to Sony to mobile phones have all emulated now. Microsoft invented that.
Yes.
There's
Apple took it too.
There's one other.
Apple's got an achievement system?
Yeah, Game Center. There's and I know we talked about it, and there was the model that had the wired controller, and yes, I understand it uses batteries, but they were still like the first to have an official sanctioned wireless that comes with the system. Because you could buy the
plug one in, the USB power.
You could buy, what was it, the arcade and the regular, right? The regular model came with a wireless controller, and that was a launch system, so that predates Sony. Or you could buy the arcade unit, which came with no memory and a wired controller and blah, blah, blah. But I can't think of any other system that came bundled in at launch with a wireless controller to start.
Yeah.
They were like gimmicks. You had to spend $70, $80 for the fancy turbo wireless controller, and you were lucky if a first-party one was made, like the Wavebird or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got to give them props on that. The last one, they gave you seasons 1 and 2 of Duck Dynasty for free.
They've given a lot of content away for free.
I mean, I understand they're way behind the 8 ball on games, but as far as other content, they've given so much stuff away. The Guild was born on Xbox. I don't watch it, but
I watch it. I like the Guild.
Watched it.
Yeah.
To me, the
my avatar.
To me, the achievements grew on me the later we got in the generation. I remember the first few years not caring at all, then starting to care. Then I got really into them. This goes the same with trophies as well. And then I go like in and out of it, you know, like
game's got to have some really. It's got to be something I care about, and it's got to have some really good ones.
Yeah.
If all of them are multiplayer, I don't care.
But it does make stuff interesting. It kind of, as cool as it is, it kind of ruins some stuff. Because then, like, I go back and I'm like I was saying, I bought the Wii U.
What am I missing?
And I'm playing Super Mario, and I'm like, there's no way for anyone to know of anything I've done. Mm-hmm. Just like there's, it's stupid, but it kind of is cool. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know, I like the whole.
It also gives replayability too.
I mean, like Mark said, like, I mean, I have Game Center on my iPhone. I don't give two shits about it. Yeah. But it's still, like, if you do something cool, it's kind of nice to see the little thing pop up. You know, it's just, it's that little, like, oh, you know, oh, look at that.
It's a little fruit of your labor.
Yeah.
So,
you know.
The only ones I really give a shit about are trophies and achievements. Like, I know everybody's coming up with achievement lists now. Fucking Google's got, it's just like, dude, I don't care. Mm-hmm. I don't fucking care. But...
You're gonna get achievements for watching shit on your Xbox One now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not gonna have actual gamer score.
No, they're not. But they're still gonna reward you.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like the get glue stickers. So I mean, you know, or like how on Facebook you can tell people what you're watching. You know, it's just, I mean, it's a gimmick. It's still something kind of cool. You know, Tony's gonna be like,
it's gonna be like that day one achievement.
Debbie Does Dallas inside Deep Throat. You know,
come on, Eileen. I actually, because now that we're segueing into the bad that came along with Xbox this past generation, I have one that's in a gray area, and you brought it up at the tail end of the good, and that's the wireless controller. Mm-hmm. Because we know with the Xbox One, they're doing the same thing where it's going to be battery powered, and you can upgrade to the Play and Charge kit. Now, do you think that was good or bad? And like with the Xbox One, what the hell's going on with that? Because a lot of people assumed they would do what the PS3's been doing for years, which is put the ion lithium whatever inside. They look at it as nickel and diming, and it very well may be. But at the same time, I've seen PS3. It's rare, but I've seen the PS3 batteries
die out,
shit out, and a perfectly good controller
is useless.
Yeah. Whereas the Xbox, if the battery craps out, you can always switch back to AA's or get a new battery pack for $10. So I mean, is it like, I don't know.
Well, all right. From my standpoint, and I know my opinion differs from you greatly. I don't care about the battery packs, the play-in charges. I go to like Walmart and buy like a 50 pack for like $10, you know, when they're on sale, and I have a plethora of batteries then. And I mean, it's not like the Wii was, where it's going to drain the battery in 24 hours.
Oh my God, was it so bad on the Wii?
You know, so it's, you know, to me, at least from my perspective, it's irrelevant. It would be nice if they included it, but also, and regardless of how minute it is, it would have drove up the cost a little bit. And when your system's already over the cost of your competitor, you know, I'm sure they had a model with a lithium-ion battery in it, and they had an option to make. And even if it's $5 more that it costs them to put that battery pack in there and include the cable to charge it, they had to cut costs somewhere. I kind of get it, you know. I personally, I could care less.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I know you had problems with the plug-and charge kits. I
had one, and it was just like,
I had two lifetime. I got one with the system. Worked great for 6.5 years. Shat out on me a few months ago, which is understandable because my Xbox is on constantly.
Yeah. Well, I guess
because I'm either playing games or streaming something.
I guess for me though too, it's also like it's almost an inconvenience to have the play in charge, even though it's more cost effective. Because if my controller goes to die, I have to get up and plug it in, and you kind of see my setup. My TV's not really close to my couch. So I'd have to move my position as to where I lift that little footstool that I have. There's my pack of batteries. 2 new batteries in. Keep going.
Yeah, mine's easier because my TV's...
You never leave your bedroom.
My TV's close to my nightstand, and I just have my Xbox charge and kit whatever, the cable,
Yeah.
running from my 360 to my nightstand where my 360 controller is always.
I mean, I guess if I wanted to get creative, I could use like a USB adapter
Extender.
or something, But I do that with that. That's the problem with like the PlayStation one. Is like, oh fuck, my controller's dying. Well,
No, see, I went right away and got the 12-footer for the PS3.
Well, I have extension cables, but then I got to worry about. I have 2 dogs. The dogs come by. There goes the fucking. Luckily, it's got a breakaway on it, but yeah. But no, I mean
What do you think, sir?
that's a positive and a negative, like you said.
I
it's
had
good.
gone through 3 consoles. Red Ring. Then that disc tray was another kind of secret error they made. I mean, that thing used to crap out on a ton of people. Did anyone actually have to get an Xbox because of that or send it in?
On what, the disc tray?
Yeah.
No.
I had to send it in. They charged me $100. I was like, you fuckers.
I got lucky. I had, I'm on my 3rd Xbox right now.
Technically my 4th, but my 3rd one never broke. I just traded in for the Slim.
Okay. The first one red ringed, but I got lucky that it happened after Microsoft acknowledged that it was
My first
happening.
one too, yeah.
So, no questions asked. They let me print out one of those free UPS overnight first class bolt, whatever. So I mailed it. The next day, I didn't even think it was going to be that quick. The next day, I had a new 360 on my front porch. Not new, a refurbished, whatever.
It took 2 weeks for me.
Really?
Yeah, because they actually fixed mine.
Oh no, mine they.
I'm like, fuck it.
I think the stock by the time mine broke, mine lasted a long time. By the time it broke, I think they had a stockpile of ones that they had fixed.
Probably, yeah.
So they just sent me a fixed one
You probably got my old one.
the second they received it. With another free, I think 3 months to Xbox Live. So that's why I was never mad when these things shot out, because Microsoft always took real good care of me personally. I know a lot of people got screwed, but
I've had to send in 2 and didn't have a problem. I had to send in my Slim within the first 3 weeks.
Really? What happened with your Slim?
Red Ring.
nice.
Yeah.
Then the second one that they had sent me shot out. And I forgot how we worked it out, but that's how I ended up acquiring the Slim. I think I had to put money in because mine wasn't. They were going to give me value, or so. I don't remember exactly what the fuck happened, but I ended up getting the Slim because I told them I want to get the new model anyway.
Good call.
Yeah, and that thing's been great for
Yeah.
3 years
I've
now.
never had a single
Mine's starting
problem
to get a
with
little loud.
Really?
Yeah, a little loud.
Yeah. I think my Slim was a tank. I got it day one. Actually, no, I was out of town, but I had a day one Slim line, and that thing, not a single problem.
I kind of want to get the Super Slim, but it doesn't have the optical port on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, no optical port. So it's like,
You can't use your sound.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest, because I know last week we spent a lot of time on the outage. That was Sony's main thing. I think the Red Ring debacle was
that was horrible.
clearly Xbox's biggest. They had better not repeat that. If that happens again,
Cheap solder.
they are going to lose all their fan base.
If that
People will never trust them
If
again.
that happens, I will find a way to return mine and buy a PS4.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
If that happens again, they will not sell their 4th console.
Yeah.
Like, people will forgive you once.
Uh-huh. And I mean, I didn't even. My story's a little different. My first 360 I bought was Red Ring, and through,
The
magic.
power of GameStop.
No, not them. But through the smart thinking that I do and whatnot, I managed to get a new system out of it. So I've gone through. I had 1 white, 2 black, 2 slim. But I mean, like again, technically, I upgraded from my Elite to the Slim.
I'm just talking about this just scares me about this upcoming console launches for both of them.
What scares you?
How long will mine last for?
See now,
Probably 3 or 4 years.
I
and then it'll
understand. Sony didn't have nearly as many problems. They did have the yellow light, and if you think back to the PS2, do you remember the failure rate on those fucking things? I know you didn't have.
Mine still works.
I understand.
Mine still works.
You are a very, very rare case. the old brick models
That's the one I have too.
died
Looks great.
horribly. So many of those things back in the old GameStop days.
There's a bad taste in my mouth. Better not get a lemon.
And then the PS1 with the you had to turn it up.
PS1s didn't fail. There was just tricks to getting them to go.
Turn that bitch upside down.
It was like the NES. Turn it upside down, leave the cover open, push it up and down on the spring 2 or 3 times, blowing it.
Yeah.
They didn't break. There was just ways to get them going.
Yeah, my Genesis the same way. Oh, you won't read anymore? Blow into it.
My Genesis...
Hit reset 3 times.
My Genesis, still to this day, you have to put a piece of electrical tape to close the 2 wires, the power cable and the...
My NES only starts up with a Game Genie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the AV...
Which Ma said is like really easy to fix.
Yeah, it's just that pin connector. And the AV cable, you actually have to tape them close together because the one is loose, and you have to pull it in. You have to like put pressure on the cable for it to power on. So if you just put a little piece of tape, you're good to go. But after a few weeks, the tape loses its stickiness and it spreads out. So every time you want to play it, you have to
put a rubber band on that?
Maybe, but I think the same thing would happen. Where after a while, it loses its elasticity. Yeah. I mean, the Genesis gets turned on twice a year. You know what I mean? I just put a little piece of electrical tape and it's fine. So
nice. We have any other negatives?
We're positive.
Shitty launch lineup.
Ads.
Really bad launch lineup.
Ads.
Are there going to be ads on Xbox One? Did they say they're axing those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From and I've tried to avoid like watching the videos and stuff. I've watched about 30 seconds.
I want to be surprised. I haven't seen any of that shit.
That's what I said. You know, I've only watched like I'll if I'm on a shader, I'll watch it for like 30 seconds. You know, just to kind of get an idea. And from what I can tell, there's no ads.
No, it looked like they cleaned it up a lot.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that was definitely a negative, though.
Yes.
All right. No more goods and bads?
Proprietary hard drive.
Yeah.
That's more a disappointment that... See, I don't really look at that as a negative because
I never had a problem with it either.
They were the first ones out anyway. Nobody knew any better.
Yeah.
That was the way shit got designed.
I mean, if
that
anything,
was the way it was
10
designed.
years from now, if we're still doing this podcast, it'll be on the negative list for Xbox One.
That's what I'm saying. I'm more surprised that it's still a proprietary.
Yeah.
Like back then, I have no problem with the 3. That's just the way the 360 was. Yeah. But now you had time to think about it. You saw because the PS3 didn't have one, but it came out a full year after. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of like, oh shit, maybe we should have did that. We'll do it next time, and they fucking didn't. Now that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And they're not even changeable. It's like, are you kidding? At least the old ones, sure, they were proprietary, but you could upgrade.
That's what they say.
They're probably going to sell you in cloud storage.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to see until somebody decides to rip one open and see if they can slap a new hard drive in there. Because technically,
be done by week 1.
Huh?
Be done by week 1.
Yeah.
Done by day 1.
Technically,
tech shows buy these things just to rip them open.
You could install a laptop hard drive on an Xbox, the old model with the externals. You had some fucking wires hanging out and shit, but
one of my buddies actually has it that way.
Yeah.
He was using I don't remember the memory size, but yeah, he had like basically an exposed hard drive on the side. Because his failed, so he had to replace it.
All right, we ready?
Well, we're gonna, much like we did last week, we're gonna boil down our top 10 Xbox 360 only games. We will be doing a top 10 game of the generation. That'll be cumulative between first and second and third parties across all platforms. That's late because unfortunately I forgot that I wanted to do that show, and now we're going to be doing so much Xbox One and PS4 coverage over the next few weeks that it'll be before the end of the year, but it's probably going to be in like December at some point. So sorry, but yeah, Marky Mark.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Left 4 Dead 1.
Dick.
Yeah, I know.
That's on my list.
Yeah, I know this. Anyway, Left 4 Dead was so freaking cool getting to play as zombies, which I think was probably the first time you could do it this generation, and they did it well.
Still one of the only few times. Not many games let you do it to this day.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Fred, Xbox One.
I knew there was
OG Xbox. Excuse me.
Yeah. Anyway, there was that.
Deadhead Fred. Drop
Versus mode was awesome. Had a ridiculously fun maps to just I played through.
And again, yes, we understand this was released on PC, but we're talking about console exclusives because there's going to be a couple of these.
Yeah. So.
And by console exclusive, we pretty much mean it wasn't on the PS3 because the Wii wouldn't be able to run any of these games.
We going this way?
Sure, which way?
Tis Tony's the topic of the week, sir.
If I don't say it is. Just saying.
He cuts every single one where he puts you in now and then him after.
He just cuts his face off and puts it on my head. Jason's topic of the week now, motherfucker.
Number 10 is Halo Reach.
Also on my list.
Also
I'm not
on
going to
my
talk
list.
about either of these until they come up. Or should we talk about them when they... No. Fuck
No,
that.
I'll touch on it slightly because I'm not a huge Halo fan, but I really did enjoy what they did in Reach. I spoilers. I really enjoyed the ending of the game. We've talked about that in detail before. And again, not a huge Halo fan. I've played every Halo game that's come out, beaten them except Halo 4, but it was different. It felt different. It felt new. It felt fresh.
Number 10. Explosion Man. Download title.
I just got Misplosion Man for free when I upgraded my
Hard drive.
Oh, yeah.
drive a week ago.
It's the same thing. They
Yeah.
copied and pasted it and put new levels on it. He's actually my little icon on Xbox Live. If you're friends with me, that's who that is. That bubbly flaming head, Explosion Man. I love this game. I'm a huge platformer fan. It's a great platformer.
Difficult.
Silly. It's really hard. It is like NES.
It's like Meat Boy stuff and difficult.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
NES hard. Like old school fucking platformer hard. Which makes me love it even more. It's just a lot of fun. It's funny. It's got cool visuals. It's a good time. The mechanics are sound. It's fun. It's a great game. Explosion Man.
Yeah.
Pick it up if you have yet to do so.
Number 9.
Number 9!
Forza 4. I love the integration of Top Gear. I love the zombie mode, which they call Infection. That thing
That
was
shit is fun.
awesome.
I
don't
love the
think I really
DeLorean
did.
achievement.
I don't think I really did many other multiplayer matches if it wasn't Infection. That was
Infection's
just,
a lot of fun.
that was just a lot of fun.
It's essentially like tag, where you have to like slam into each other.
Yeah. The only thing I wish about Forza 4, though, better damage modeling. It's the only thing with Forza. I like a little bit more destruction, but...
I think
Better than the bumper cars that Gran Turismo originally had.
I think the damage is there. It doesn't actually do anything though.
Not like frame damage and...
No, like you can lose your bumper in Forza,
Yeah, that's about it.
but like in other games, I don't know if you could turn it on or off because I have it off in mine. If you can turn it off, and I've just left it that way forever. Certain games when you get like hit in the side on a collision on a race, then your car will start veering to the left, and you have to counter steer. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they don't incorporate that or if I just had it off, but yeah.
You just set it off. It does have that, but in multiplayer it doesn't. Those are off by default.
Oh, okay.
Because it just does arcade whatever stuff.
Yes.
Number 9. Battle Block Theater.
Battle Blocks.
It would have
Game is
been
shit.
Castle Crashers.
Honorable mention over here.
Yeah, but Castle Crashers ended up being multi-platform. It couldn't have been Alien Hominid because that was a GameCube release. So Behemoth makes some phenomenal games.
Dan Palin, one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, that guy.
He does stuff like art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another game that becomes ridiculously difficult later on.
Yeah. When they
Like
tiny
to the
as
point
well.
where I get mad and turn it off. Yeah, and
Jason rage quitting.
but it's
Game was
so much
awesome.
fun and
It's another
so
platformer.
ridiculous and so over the top. And they have a thing with cats.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the same character models from their previous 2 games reappear, and just all around fun.
Yeah. Very solid game.
Number 9, Fable 2. This is the absolute best fantasy game I've ever played in my life, hands down. Not the best game I've ever played in my life. That weird, you know what I mean by that, like that, huh?
Don't go too far. It's on my list. This is number 1.
So you talk about it when you come.
I know,
up.
but
I shut up about Halo
but that's
Reach
why,
and Left 4
That's
Dead.
why we're not going too far. And we leave some scraps for other people too. So, like we did last week.
So what do you want to? You want to wait till you?
No.
bring it up?
I'm saying you can talk about it, but don't go into like a 5-minute
Okay.
dick sucking fest on it.
Yeah, I
Leave some cock for everyone.
To me, it was like you know that like Lord of the Ringsy type shit, this is my absolute favorite. The like out of the fantasy world. I think the menu system was excellent. The story was excellent. It was funny. I love the narrator. I love the characters. Everything about it was great. I think they took everything that was great about Fable 1 and made it better, and then forgot what they were doing and shat out Fable 3. So Fable 2, pinnacle of the Fable series. Good stuff, gentlemen.
Number 8, Toy Soldiers. It's hard to say if I like that one or the second title they came out with, which is the Cold War one. So I'm going to put them on the same one, because they were both phenomenal. I was huge into playing with army men and anything...
Or just likes playing with men.
Military, army dudes when I was a kid growing up. And when this game came out, it was playing with them, except then I got into an artillery gun and just lobbed shells, blowing them all up in World War One, or playing as Sylvester Stallone with double machine guns in the Cold War one. And it was just awesome.
Nice.
Really good company they got.
Number 8, Halo Wars.
Honorable mention.
Tony, you got it? Is that on yours at all?
No.
Okay. Probably the best RTS on console.
Yeah.
Easily.
Does a really great job of kind of giving you that overall backstory on the series too.
The cutscenes were gorgeous.
Fills in a lot of gaps, and just all around fun. The multiplayer was fun. I can't say anything bad about the game. Really can't. And at that point when it came out, I wasn't even a Halo fan. You know, not that I am now, but still, you know, like that was kind of the jumping off point for me. I was like, this game's fucking cool. All right,
Yeah.
you know. And they're bringing it back. They've said they're considering bringing back Halo Wars.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I know they got the twin stick one coming out. I watched somebody
Spartan
play
thing.
that. Yeah, I watched somebody play that.
I think that's what's kind of bringing back the interest in it a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Number 8, Left 4 Dead. I love this game. Still holds up to this day. There's annoying things that I would change, but overall, it's an amazing, fun game. The campaign's cool. The replayability is amazing. I love so much about the Left 4 Dead series. It's just good fun.
Yep, very much so. Good multiplayer.
Two thumbs up. Good family fun.
Number 7, Crackdown 2. I had a phenomenal time in that game. That was awesome. It was just sandbox right from the start. I also did play with 2 friends.
rockets.
Yep, dropping bombs from the top of the map. Honestly, I mean, it was awesome. The progression system, you know, from the beginning of the jumping to the end where you'd fly across the map when you jump. Everything about it, I had such a good time.
Yeah, and I know I'm not a huge Saints Row person, but I think that's kind of one of the things that turned me off from Saints Row 4. It's like, I'll just go back and play Crackdown.
Yep. It was not as good as Crackdown in Saints Row 4.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they went for.
Remember, Ron? 7?
7.
Number 7. 1 versus 100.
On my list as well.
Nice. Free was only done on certain days when they did it live. Very just
live announcer too.
Yeah, live announcer. Just very weird. I never got to be the one or anything like that. Never saw a single episode of the game show.
Nope, neither.
But absolutely loved playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 out of the 12 achievements. I was so upset.
I was upset when I missed days.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it, I forgot.
And you could set the reminders on your Xbox to tell you when it was like, get ready, 30 minutes.
Putting it in my calendar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Loved it. I went like 6 months playing that religiously every time it was on. Because it was like Mondays or something. Because it was like, I'd stop watching Raw.
They did it 5 days a week at one point.
Yeah.
They did 5 days a week and each day was themed.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Forza 3. This would have been higher up, but it got bumped down by something that's very similar that's coming later on the list. That beat it.
Spoilers.
That beat it in every way, shape, and form. This, to me, was the game where Gran Turismo lost the lead. This was a very important game for racing simulator enthusiasts. because Gran Turismo was the first and the best for
pretty much the only
for over a decade.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people imitated, they never replicated, and you know, as much as I enjoyed Forza 1 and Forza 2, they were still not as good as Gran Turismo. This was the game where they passed and still hold the lead. We'll see with Forza 5 and Gran Turismo 6 both launching in the next month. But this is where they turned the tables, where Turn 10 took it away from Polyphony Digital. So it's an amazing game.
That's where they really opened up like where you could
Periphery
customize
digital.
the detail on the vehicle too, right?
Forza 2 had quite a bit of that as
Yeah,
well.
but you couldn't like totally reskin the car though.
Persephone Digital. Pacific
I
Digital.
remember, I love that episode where you guys were just fucking up Polyphony's name for like,
I forgot what I
Polymorphous.
kept calling it.
yeah, Powermorphous. Prometheus Digital.
Yeah, that's what it was. Prometheus, I think. Was it?
So, I don't
Nah,
remember.
fuck
You guys
it,
are just
nothing.
any P word.
Andrew Dillon.
Yeah, right. What the hell was I calling it that whole episode? Because I had one word that would never stop.
Oh, this poor kid. We turned him into the bullshit checker. You're just making him go relive every episode 100 times.
Hope you love every minute.
How we at?
Number 6, Ace Combat 6. Sorry, I did the same voice. Anyway, I loved Ace Combat 6. That thing was awesome. It was my first actual experience with the series because I never got into it in the PS2 or previously. And that thing was awesome. Like, it was kind of like a somewhat futuristic, and you had like a ton of missiles.
Did you
and...
play it with the flight stick?
No, I didn't. I wasn't going to put up that kind
I
of money.
think that was the first game I ever bought DLC for.
Really, one of the extra planes.
Planes. I think. I might be wrong. It might have been Halo 3. But I think that was the first game I bought DLC for.
I had a great time with that, flying through buildings and shit, and it was a long campaign actually too, which was great.
It was ridiculously long.
Yeah, I loved it.
It got hard toward the end. There was a couple
definitely.
missions in there that were just like, even on
Final
normal.
boss battles, yeah.
Even on normal, it was just like, really? Jesus Christ.
Love you could switch planes between each mission, you know, customize the skin, weapon loadouts, anything like that. It was cool. It was cool. Good job. Good job. You fucked up with Assault Horizon, but, you know. I never even bought it. I need to play helicopter. So
Number 6, Left 4 Dead 2.
what was better?
Here, hold on. The reason that I like Left 4 Dead 2 so much more is 2 words. Noam Chomsky. You had to carry that motherfucker through the whole level to get the achievement. No, it was one of those games that like
You could thank Valve for that.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Where not only did they, in my opinion, improve upon the first, but then turned around and gave you the levels from the first game too.
No, that was very nice.
I really, really like that.
I see. There's one thing holding back from saying 2 is better than 1. It's the frickin' jockey and the stupid spitter, and it was the new special zombies. Only thing that kept me back from.
I know. I like the Charger.
Charger was fine. Charger was fine.
Yeah.
It was the spitter and
I loved
jockey.
jockeying people. I loved jockeying people.
Yeah, you jockey the shit out
I
of
was
this.
just like, I'm right in your fucking face.
Fun fact with that. That game was ridiculously hard. We usually play on normal, maybe
They had
hard.
to Valve adjusted the difficulty level, and that's also where they implemented the director. The director wasn't in the first game. You know, where like depending on how well you were playing, they'd ramp up how many fucking zombies were coming at you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Left 4 Dead 1, but when 2 came out, I had absolutely no reason to go back to 1. And then, like 3 years later, they gave you all the maps from the first one,
Very
which
nice.
at that point, I was like, yeah, I don't need 1 anymore at all, ever.
Yes. What are we on?
6.
Halo 4. To me, one of the most underappreciated games that came out this year. Or last year, whatever. Yeah, last year. It really is a near perfect game. People keep expecting them to catch fire like people expect everything to sell like the Wii U isn't living up to the Wii. It's like you're never going to catch lightning in a bottle like that again. Halo 3 came out at a time when there wasn't much to play multiplayer wise and people were stuck on that game for years, Same thing with Halo and Halo 2. now with 3 games coming out every week, you couldn't have expected those servers. Like, people are like making a big deal, like, oh, after 3 months, the drop off was so huge. Well, of course, like 50 other games came out at that point, all with multiplayer. Like, nothing's gonna do that anymore. But the campaign was a blast. I love the direction they're taking the new series. I'm curious to see what happens in Halo 5 now. I'm more of a campaign guy in everything over multiplayer, but the multiplayer was really good. Worked really well. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't play it much either anymore. I moved on to other games, but
it's the only one that I didn't complete, and the only reason I didn't complete it is because I walked in the room as Kim was beating it.
No.
And she started crying because she messaged you, remember? She sent you like the Facebook message. God damn it, Tony, you make me cry.
Yeah. It was a really good game. Really good game.
Tits are huge.
Never beat it.
Halo 4.
Number 5. Halo Reach. Love the hell out of Halo Reaches. One of the big things with that, it was one of the first games that had, like, they took what Halo 3 had with the matchmaking, and they absolutely ramped it up for Halo Reach with the different game types, the level editor. You had unlimited replayability in maps because it'd be redesigned every freaking week. They had a lot of interaction. This is where they actually entered into the daily, weekly, and even monthly challenges. That led on to being one of the coolest things because it gave you achievements in game basically on a daily basis to go back and try and get more XP to grind out some levels. Also, I love the campaign. Campaign was awesome. Multiplayer great. It was great.
Yeah, it was good, Tony.
No, it's pretty good, Tony.
Number 5, Minecraft, Xbox 360 edition.
Minecrafted.
Crafting the mines.
I waited for this game for so long, and yes, I understand. I could have been playing it on my computer and blah 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 blah, and the mods and everything.
Real mods make it great.
Real Mendo PC game
Makes the game even better.
But
Best mods ever.
I invested
new skin packs.
So,
HD.
I got skin packs. I got the Mass Effect one.
Not the same. Just come over. I'll show you mods that are ridiculous.
I've seen them. Just like I've seen all the mods for Skyrim and all the mods for Left 4 Dead. You know
Everyone's leaving. I didn't know you were so mad.
And I don't care about mods. I just want to play the fucking game. I want to build shit, and I want to have fun with it, and that's exactly what I did.
No, I know. It's still a fun game.
Yeah.
I just haven't played, like, vanilla Minecraft one.
Yeah. I still play it. We were just talking about in part 1, I believe. Was it? I don't even know what the fuck it was. It was
part
tonight. I was asking if it was going to be a launch title on.
Oh yeah.
On Xbox One because I will buy it again, and I have all the achievements for it. It's one of the few games, and I'm not an achievement whore, but that's one of the ones that I went on. Not really.
I'm just calling you a whore. I didn't say achievement.
Look at my completion rate.
Whore.
Look at my completion rate.
Loves the whore.
Loves the cock, but that's different. So much fun.
We're doing so well this episode.
I love because my cousin plays it on my Xbox, and when he's not here, I'll log into his game and turn on God mode and just drop enemies all up in his house and shit, and then log out. So every time he comes, he already knows.
Who dropped the witch in my bed?
Or I fucking pour lava all over his buildings and shit, and just fuck with him. Like he's one of those people that like build the fucking like murals of like Nintendo characters and shit. And I just go and fuck them all up, blow them up, and everything. Great.
It's awesome though.
Great. I've spent so much time in that game just digging fucking holes. Digging holes.
Digging up them holes.
Number 5. Gears of War 3. This was as close to the series got to perfection.
This is also really quick. It was also the first game that we played multiplayer in.
Was it?
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
That was the last midnight that I had at my old store before I came over to the new store.
Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite Gears of War, and we'll get to that later. But it's probably the pinnacle of the series. Multiplayer was meh, but the campaign was awesome. I love the way that they finished the Marcus and Dom story, and Horde mode
2.0.
which, as much as I loved it, I think I still liked Gears 2 Horde better, like overall.
Especially when it broke.
But every improvement that they made, I was happy with. The only thing is it kind of felt like it took you out of it. This is the only complaint I have with Horde 2.0 is that if everything was so money driven that it kind of took you out of the, like, just scraping by to survive. That dire feeling that you felt in Gears of War 2 Horde. It was all about, like, oh, you know, put up this barrier, replace this, fix this. It wasn't running for your life and scrambling for ammo like Gears of War 2 was. But I'll get to that game later. But I loved a lot of
Gears 3 later.
I'm going to get to Gears 3 now. My number 4, Gears 3. This actually added one of my new favorite modes, which was Beast Mode. Love the crap out of it. I like playing the enemy types, as you see. I mean, Left 4 Dead on here, Gears 3. That was awesome.
Ken and Barbie's Playhouse Adventures.
Ken and Barbie's Playhouse Adventures, being plays Ken.
He's always trying to burn down the what is it, the fucking Miami Beach house.
Yeah.
Right?
Final boss battle with the beach.
Her Lamborghini with her Miami Beach house. That was the thing, right?
Yeah. I am disappointed.
Ken's mad because he got stuck paying the alimony.
Yeah, it does suck for him. But he's a turd. He's a turd bird.
Barbie left him for a younger guy.
Yeah.
She turned him in for a younger model.
Number 4.
Gears of War. Go ahead. Sorry. You done?
No, I was about to say that the one thing I did miss out on getting is I never got my wings in Gears 3. I was a little bit sad about that. I got my wings in Gears 2. Never got them in 3.
I got them in 2. I didn't see a point in getting them in 3 because Judgment didn't care. That's what solidified me getting them in 2. Like I was close anyway, exactly. And then I heard about all that day one stuff that you get that badge of honor and shit in Gears 3, and I'm like, I might as well finish this.
Yeah, so. Basically.
Number 4. Trials.
Woohoo!
Yes. Absolutely love that and hate that game.
It's hard.
The same.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
good
fucking. Oh my god, that game just pisses me off so much, and I love it.
It's fun doing it, even when you're losing.
It is one of the hardest platformers I've ever played,
and
that's the only real way that I can classify that game. Is it is a platform?
Yeah, technically.
Fuck Groundhog. Okay, I hate it. I hate it so much, especially on the micro donkey. Oh,
that's just almost impossible.
Yeah. Done it.
Yeah, I think there's a
like 36 fucking restarts, but you never got into Trials, did you, sir? No.
Gears DM, you never played.
One of the 3 games that the two of you can talk about that I can't join in on because I've never played it.
You should go in there and play it.
It's Trials, Minecraft, and Pokemon. I just have nothing to say about any of those because I've never played any of it.
I think that's a whole.
I can't talk about Zelda, so there you go.
You haven't played any Zelda ever?
Never got into them. I tried Ocarina of Time at friends' houses, and I get very small times.
Kid, you.
Yeah,
Anyways, so that was my number 4.
Number 4, Gears of War 2. This is my favorite of the trilogy. Like I said, Gears of War 3 cleaned a lot of stuff up, but that's to be expected. It came 2 full years later. I love Gears of War 2. I love the camp. Gears of War 2 was, to me, the most perfect one because, multiplayer had some issues when it first launched, but I didn't care because I was still beating the game. So I didn't care that it had problems the first month or whatever it had. But multiplayer's a blast. Horde mode is probably the second best Horde thing I can think of ever. And the campaign was amazing. I loved every aspect of that game. When it offers you 3 different styles of play and all 3 kick that much ass, it's hard to ignore a game that good. Horde mode was so much fun.
Indeed.
Number 3, sir.
Number 3! Halo 3. Like Halo 3, just a bit more than Reach, and it was very close because it had a lot to do with the, I think, the upgrade system. The the influence of Call of Duty almost. That, and I actually think the campaign was my all-time favorite of the series. Reach very close though, but yeah. So goes to that just for the I don't know, the older school of multiplayer, I guess. You know, more straight up shooting each other in the face.
Not caring
No
about all that other
abilities.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, simpler times.
Yeah.
Never again.
Number 3 is Fable 2. Everything that this guy said, plus the fucking dog. Okay.
Dog was awesome.
Like, next to Clementine and Walking Dead, I don't think I've ever cared about a character as much as I cared about that goddamn dog.
I'm really enjoying that a lot more games are starting to do this, but that was one of the first ones I can remember doing it very vividly, where there's that
Companion.
No, the final choice.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way Fable 2 ended. A lot more games are starting to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond Two Souls did it. Saw did it. I played a ton of them now. I don't want to go through the whole list. But Fable 2 was the first one where, you had that option where save the dog or save humanity or save your friends, right?
Yeah.
Save the cheerleader, save the world. Got it.
I think the only negative that I have to say about Fable 2 was the final boss.
It was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was extremely.
But it was more about the choice. That's what they were building up
I
to.
mean, I get it. I had so much fun with that game that I still have it, and I'm tempted to go back and play it again. I actually have 2 profiles because I was transferring money back and forth between myself in that game. I got all the DLC for it.
Yeah, me too.
And I just absolutely fell in love with the world of Albion. And so much that, like, I can almost forgive all the missteps that the Fable franchise has had since 2 because I know what potential they have. So I'm holding out hope for, what is it, Fable Legends or whatever it's called, the new one?
That's why 3 was so disheartening, though. It's
Yeah.
so, like, how can you screw up this fucking bad?
No, I agree, but
All you needed was more Fable 2 and make
Yeah.
it a little prettier. That's all you needed to do. It was
Yeah.
so easy.
I felt like buying houses instead.
I owned
Maintaining them.
every single fucking house that I
Yeah.
could buy.
I owned a lot.
The other,
I owned
the
a lot
other,
of
the
Fable.
other
I don't know about
downside-
every house, but I owned a
if
lot.
I have to, and Fable 2 probably would have broke into my top 1 or 2 here. I mean, it's top 3, so it's very high. But the multiplayer sucked
Oh, it was atrocious.
horribly on Fable 2.
It was virtually unusable.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to lock in just to unlock that achievement or 2.
Mm-hmm.
We still couldn't do it.
Really? Andy and I we powered through it. Unfortunately, it was rough. It was real rough. But that was probably for me one of the first games on Xbox 360 that really immersed me into the world. Really made me care about everything that was going on. And like you were saying, even though I was kind of a dick in the game, it still made me pay attention to what I was doing. So yeah, Fable 2.
What are we on, number 3?
3. Huh?
Halo 3!
Hey!
This is an amazing step forward for the series and multiplayer in general. I didn't want to say anything when you were talking. You were saying that they ripped it off from COD. COD, I think, ripped it off from Halo with the class-based systems. This was before Modern Warfare 4.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about 3 not having that was nice. I was talking about Reach earlier, who they have the class-based.
Okay, I misunderstood. So I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about like the leveling up and like Sergeant.
No, that's
And I'm like,
fine.
like,
Leveling up is
no,
fine.
I'm like, Halo had that shit.
Yeah,
whatever.
no, that's fine. Yeah.
To me, I loved it. It was probably the most fun co-op campaign I've ever played. I played it with one of my really good buddies. We've played it like 4 or 5 times now on all the different settings. In fact, I play every Halo game with him co-op. But it was such an amazing time. I love Halo 3. I really do.
Me too.
It's
Good
one
memories.
of the best games ever made.
We used to do. Remember one of my favorite moments of it? We were doing a 8-person campaign race, so it was 4 versus 4, and we just plowed through the whole game in a few hours. It was great. Had fun. Love that final level. That escape scene is awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest ending moments in video game history.
Yep, very much so. Number 2. If you know me at all, you know what these next 1 and 2 are. Alan Wake! And Alan Wake American Nightmare!
Flashlights.
Flashlights!
Lots of
I
flashlights.
really didn't think I would like this game, because like, it was like, it's a horror game, whatever, I wouldn't do it. I picked it up for like some freaking reason. Loved the hell out of it. It was like a mix of like kind of creepy horror, which I actually, I as you know, you guys know, I don't like jump scare horror. I love creepy horror for some reason, or I shouldn't say I love. I will enjoy that. I can play.
You
it
masturbate to
Masturbate.
You like suspenseful horror.
Yeah, I guess so. And the controls were freaking awesome. It just felt so good. The enemy types were cool. Boss fights, the level design was awesome. The overall aesthetic feel of the game was awesome. They nailed the living crap out of it. And then, yes, they did. I will literally say that to this.
It was probably one of the best lit games ever. Not because of the actual way it looked. Whoever designed like the minuscule area in which the flashlight would reach. I don't think that game would be scary if it was lit differently. The whole reason it worked was because the guy or team or whatever toned it perfectly, where you could only see a small section when he's turning with the flashlight, and then the stuff that would happen around you.
Yeah.
It's not like how the flashlight was in Left 4 Dead, where like you could still kind of see everything.
Yeah.
The overall the amount of care they put into that level, and like the extra like add-ons and like the pages, like it was. I don't really do collectibles. That is one game that I found every collectible in, because it actually added to the story and actually would give you like hints to what's going to happen either in the beginning. Well, this came out first. Sorry. Either that would come out in like the next like 5-10 minutes, something that just happened. They made their awesome TV show in there, which was Night Springs. Night Springs? I think so, yeah. And that thing was like a ripoff of Twilight Zones.
Twin Peaks.
Is it Twin Peaks? Damn it, yeah. Okay. That thing was awesome. I used to watch those. Everything they put in that level was just cool, and they had a reason for it. Awesome. American Nightmare also, with the story in that one, you basically replay the same like 3 levels like 3 times because you're in a loop. I love that about sci-fi. Those are like some of my favorite episodes. Like,
you need to try Majora's Mask then. I know you're not a Zelda fan, but go back and play Majora's if you dig that.
Okay.
That Groundhog Day effect.
Yeah,
I liked Alan Wake. I never beat that game, unfortunately. Kind of put it down and never went back to it. But I beat about half of it. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. It's a scary game. It's as close as a video game got to scaring me, which is, kind of hard to do, I suppose. So.
It's very easy if you're jumping shit out at me. I'll scream like a little girl.
Like a little biatch.
I won't go that far. Jesus.
Number 2, Gears of War 3. Much like how Tony feels about Uncharted 3, this was the end of the series for me. I was happy with the way it culminated. I like how they tied everything back in together. I really like the care and support that they did between Gears 2 and Gears 3 to explain what went on. I know I'm kind of one of those people who went out, read the comic books, picked up all the books, and kind of tied everything together and got the full story. The collectibles in Gears 3 were far better than 1 and 2 because you weren't just picking up COG tags. And much like Resident Evil originally did, it gave you backstory on different characters and different things and just the overall despair and depression that the game involved. The multiplayer, I never actually thought of it the way that you did, but that makes a lot of sense about Horde mode. There was an element kind of missing from Horde 2.0, and I think it was that scare factor of like, oh my god, I've only got 12 rounds left in my gun, my Lancer. We've got, Wave 7 coming up. On the flip side, though, they had the boss waves, which Gears 2 didn't have, which... as you were climbing up, as you climbed up, in both of them, it ramped up. But then all of a sudden, there's fucking Burmok,
That's what I'm saying. It was so good. You can't take anything away from it. It's just like, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's like the 2 was like creepier. 3 was so clean though. That game was flawless. The way it controlled with Horde mode, everything was near perfect. It was brilliant the way
it turned around and it kind of spit in the face of what all the negatives that everyone had about Gears of War. It's too muddy, it's too brown, it's too gray, and all of a sudden you're in the fucking jungle, Oh, it's too bro gamer, but then I'm literally
the emulsion, glowing yellow shit.
I'm sitting on Xbox playing through the campaign. Spoilers, and Dom dies, and I'm playing with Angry Andy and my buddy Jack. My buddy Jack goes silent for 3 minutes. After that happens, nothing out of his mouth whatsoever, because he was crying. That's how impactful that was. On the flip side, playing that game on fucking Insane and fighting Mira was one of the worst experiences I ever had.
It was the hardest.
Who was I playing with? It was me, Angry Andy, you, and my buddy John, right?
I don't remember.
Like 3 fucking hours. And we got stuck in that loop where the enemies started spawning behind us and we couldn't get out of that loop. It was horrible. Horrible, horrible. Bad programming.
See, but that to me...
That's what's keeping it out of my number 1.
Okay.
Is for everything the game did right, there was that one glaring negative experience we had. I mean, granted, once we finally beat her, we were all literally exhausted. Like, I had to go take Advil afterwards. My head hurt so bad from it. That's also the first game where I jumped in and, I bought the headset. I had the controller. I didn't have the console because I had already gotten my
the controller, too.
I had the collector's edition. I had my GameStop bunny pin, which you can't really see it. I won the award for customer service for my Gears of War 3 Midnight. I still have the pictures on my phone where I had my buddy with his Lancer standing at the door. He was the guy checking the receipts. Inside, I had my statue already open. I had the soundtrack for 1 and 2 playing in the store. We didn't write Midnight Event or anything on the window, just a giant fucking Crimson Omen on the window. It was so good. I loved it. I went out and I had the special edition shirt that they put out. Everyone else was rocking Gear shirts. I had the COG tags. I had the Delta Squad bracelet. I went all out with that game. It's the only one I've ever done that for, and loved every minute of it. And I actually, and this is going to sound kind of sappy, I made some really good friends out of playing Gears 3. I did. I came to a new store. These guys didn't know who the hell I was. Yeah, we probably would have ended up being buds because we would have been working together.
We bonded a lot over years.
But that's what really brought us together was Gears of War 3.
It's true. It's true.
That's how I met Mark. I didn't know Mark. Mark wasn't even at my store. They're like, "Hey, this guy Mark." I'm like, "All right, he's cool."
Yeah, I was like, "I'm at another game."
So I'm like, there's this little kid Mark. He's all right.
He's all right.
He's like 15, but
there's some other people that were annoying, and we didn't let him play with us so much.
Yeah.
We formed our little Gears clique, and I'm actually really sad that Mark doesn't have his 360 anymore, because I'd like to go back within the next week or so and play Gears 3 one more time to kind of close out the generation.
we'll come to someone's house.
We could do some shit. Yeah. I'm looking for something to kill time with anyway. What are we on? Number 2?
Number 2.
Halo or Forza.
Let's
Forza 4. I was reading my number 3. Forza 4. I'm sorry. I know there's not too many race car fans. I'm talking to myself at these points because they don't care. And
I like racers. I'm just
I've
not
never-
a fan of the simulation.
Simulators.
I'm more of the arcade. But I do appreciate Forza because Forza really. I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to get because Forza's not on my list. I do appreciate Forza because it didn't have as steep of a learning curve or make me feel stupid because I didn't know about cars like Gran Turismo does. If I don't know how to tune my car properly, it's okay in Forza.
Yeah.
That's a bonus.
You
You could still jump and race. And what I really liked and what they did before everybody else was the pathing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
This is the best racing game that has ever been made. Period. I don't care what anybody fucking says. If you have an opinion that differs from that, you're wrong. I've played them all. Forza 3 passed Gran Turismo. Forza 4 smashed them into the ground. It came out before Gran Turismo 5. And it's a way better game than something that came out after. You can tell by how broken Gran Turismo 5 is that they saw Forza 4 and they were like, oh shit, with like 6 months to go, and corrected stuff. But they didn't have enough time to go back and redo the whole game. That's why there's like only 20 cars in cockpit view. Mm-hmm. And like, some of the cars still say PlayStation 2 on
I was
them.
gonna say, isn't there?
And
but they don't. They didn't even have all the cars in Auto Vista for Forza 4 yet.
No, they didn't do all the cars. They did just
11. I think it was 11.
They just took some special
like that.
cars, basically, and yeah.
And
Jeremy Clarkson narrated all of them, so it was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
but there's a lot
He
of
could read me the fucking phone book.
Yeah, he could. He could. He's got
Him
a
and
really
Mike
good
Rowe,
reading voice.
they could just read each other, every other page.
Yeah, Mike Rowe's awesome. I can listen to that guy do anything. But Forza 4 revolutionized everything. You don't think there's that much more forward you can go in a racing simulator, but they keep proving me wrong. Even me, I think
It sounded great too.
I think the sound's amazing. The cars, what they did with the 360, which is clearly less powerful than the PS3, with Forza 4, like they found a way to like trick the human eye with something that's less powerful to make it look better than it really looks. It's amazing what they did with that game. I just can't wait to see Forza 5. I poured so many hours into Forza 4. I love it. What an amazing game series.
You're number one, sir.
Number one. If you know
Can you
me
guess?
whatsoever, you already know it's Trials motherfucking Evolution.
Trials motherfucking Evolution, motherfucker.
Wait a minute. Wow. Mass Effect didn't make it onto your list.
The first one, no.
Really?
Yeah,
The
because
second one? No.
Well,
Third
the
one?
second one's
No.
both. No.
Not good games.
You know, they're like, oh, you can put Mass Effect as Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1 just not held up well over time. I've tried to go back
hate
to
it.
it.
I fucking hate it.
It's
I got
it's
lost on
got
a planet trying
bad.
to mine shit.
Yeah.
A place
No,
with
I mean,
enemies
there's
shooting at me.
It was the ground point for something amazing, and you know I went through it because at the time it didn't seem terrible. I shouldn't say terrible. It's just bad.
Terrible.
It's
terrible.
bad.
Terrible
It's
is an
not-
excellent choice of words.
I would leave it in like the 6 to 7 range. Story. If you're going on story though, that story from the first one's probably about a 9. That story is fucking amazing in the end. But it's the gameplay getting there that lacked. But there's no Mass Effect time, okay? Yeah, right, anyway. Trials Evolution. I have a lot of nostalgia with this game because I was playing it back in the 90s or so, late 90s when they're coming out on like miniclip.com and stuff like that.
Was it made by my Redlings?
Was that?
Was it made
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Redlings?
Yeah, it's been the same company the whole time. And those things were absolutely amazing. And like they always wanted you to buy a free version. I did like the demo level over and over and over and over and over. Hundreds of times, I guarantee it. And then I saw this randomly come out of nowhere, which Trials HD. Actually, I should put Trials HD on here as well, I guess. But Evolution way better than HD with the creation of maps. It's it's
Making a first-person shooter.
yeah, first-person shooter. You can play
Angry Bikers.
The amount of shit that is in that game. Trials Evolution, it's a bike game, side-scrolling bike game, basically. You can be a first-person shooter. You can do pinball. You can do. That's how ridiculous they went with the creation system. There is nothing really you can't find. People like remake like entire levels of games. Like Halo's got like half. You can play Halo in Trials Evolution. People have remade that in there, so you will be running through the same hallways as you did in the first one. Like and the gameplay is just like it's very solid platformer as well. Like Jason was saying, like the bike is. If you mess up, it's generally your fault because and it's got a lot of skill based in it as well. They just had the World Championships last week actually, and the bikes they play very differently. You have like the Phoenix, which is very light and bouncy. You got the heavy one, which fucking name is escaping me right now, even though it's the one I always use. Anyway, Scorpion. Yes, and that thing big, heavy, a lot more power to it. It's really freaking awesome, that game. If you've somehow not bought it with me giving all these rave reviews to it.
And I love the guy screaming.
Oh yeah, this sense of humor. Just
I mean, even without the level creator, just the mini games, the bowling and stuff like that they put in there and flinging the body,
breaking bones. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
They really took, in my opinion, what attracted me to the series is they took almost that Tony Hawk and skate formula, where like you could kind of open it up and everything and really build upon it. That's what appealed to me about it initially.
I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss Alan Wake very, very much so by having a PS4. Very much so.
You're probably going to get one day, won't you?
You can get that generic. Eventually. You can get that generic Trials.
No, I've tried them. No one has that control, that touchdown like Joe Danger. No, it's not a good game.
Joe Danger is something completely different.
They made a straight ripoff of Trials.
Yeah, it's like
Super
HD.
Yeah, no,
Moto
it's urban,
Cross.
more. Yeah, no, that thing too.
Urban Freestyle, isn't it?
Urban Freestyle, yeah.
Some crap.
Anyway, does not have that. They've been. This is a company that has mastered the feel of the bike because they've been doing it for almost 20. Well, probably. At least 15 years.
Yeah, you're like 3 feet from the ground, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get one more wheelie in it, or one more fucking rotation on my flip."
Yeah.
Then you nail it. And you're like, "Yes!"
Yeah.
And you're so happy that you fuck up on the next part. God damn it!
Yeah. So many good moments.
Or you
like
land
that.
it, and all of a sudden your front wheel goes up, and you're on your back.
It's also one of those games you put in, and you're like, I'll do like 2 or 3 races, and you are gone for an hour or two, and it just you keep going.
Very nice. Very nice. My number one, and I played the series out of order. I played 2, 1, 3, and I'm actually kind of sad that I didn't put 1 on there, but I tried to have some diversity in my list a little bit, is Gears of War 2. Like Tony said, the feel of it was significantly different from Gears 1. The scope of what was going on in the world was much larger. Gears 1, it's just like one little isolated incident.
Yeah.
You're on one little battlefield.
They were still feeling it out.
Yeah. When Gears 2 culminates with, you're riding a fucking Burmach, which is insane. The boss for Gears 2 was far better than Gears 1. And I even like...
You like Ram on the train?
No, it was kind of lame, I like, And Mira was just annoying, I really liked
number 2 it was that big monstrous glob, right? That was Gears 2, or am I confusing the games?
There's the dude with the double chainsaw staff that you fight. Also,
I forget his name.
Yeah, but you have to blow up the emulsion, right? You're going around in that circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering if I could
With
get
the
my
hammer
Gears of
gun,
War confused. Yeah.
The Coal Train, even though he's
runs on whole grain, baby.
He's phenomenal.
Woo!
He's phenomenal in 3, but just for the longest time, my ringtone was the rant that he gives in the Hive. We're in your house, Delta Squad in your house, bitch. When he goes off. Again, I played 2, and then went back, played 1, and that's what really sold me on the franchise. And I played 1, and I appreciate 1. I can still go back and play it, but even compared to 3, I think I've spent the most time playing Gears 2. And then, close to the release of Gears 3, they did something weird. They broke Horde mode intentionally. Weird shit started happening. You had wretches with torque bows.
That was one of my favorite moments.
And just really odd shit happening. And you
with like huge like multipliers.
You could tell that they were having fun with everybody with that game. And I think what makes it stand out even more to me than Gears 3 is Gears 3's the end. When Gears 2 ended, and then you hear Adam Phoenix come across, that it's not over. That it's still going to go on. 2
also had a lot better support from the developer. I think with 3, like, they didn't have as many events.
3 was very mainstream. Gears 3 felt very mainstream. Kind of like Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2. It felt very mainstream, oh, hey, look, we got Ice-T now, he's this character, shit like that. As to where 1 was more focused, Delta Squad made you care about the characters, the issues with Dom and his wife, Ty, everything about that game just was perfect. I can't say one negative about it. I have nothing bad to say about Gears 2.
I love Gears 2. I can't say anything bad.
Like you said, it was really hard for me to decide which one I wanted to put first.
That's why they're next to each other on mine.
But I like Halo, and I appreciate what Halo did. I'm not a big first-person shooter fan, but when I found this series, it's like I found my niche.
You also found the best third-person controlled shooter out there.
And it was probably very close, if not the first multiplayer online experience that I had with Xbox Live was Gears 2. Because I didn't get Xbox when it launched.
Yeah,
I was a Wii purchaser. I had a Wii launch day, and after Zelda, I was done. Then I got the Xbox, and you can look at my order of my achievements. It's like Simpsons, Need for Speed, weird obscure stuff. I hadn't found what I was looking for yet. And then I found Gears. And then right after that is Gears 1. And then, and it hasn't been replicated. And it's the same thing when I was talking about Fable, like what they did with Judgment, is I know the potential of the series, and I understand people aren't there anymore, but 2 people don't make a game. Not in this day and age. Not unless you're, behemoth.
The thing is, I completely agree with that because the tools are there.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, okay, it'd be one thing if everything was great and the story was a little off. You'd be like, oh, maybe that's because Cliffy B, the ideal man behind it, left.
Yeah.
The guy who was like, no, this wouldn't make sense in this world. They, like, screwed everything up.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and with Judgment, they didn't bring back, I can't think of her name. And that's the other thing. People give Gears a lot of shit for being the bro gamer game, along with Call of Duty.
A lot of tricks.
It was written, the stories for Gears is written by a woman. Written by a fucking woman. At least for 2, 3, and all the books in the comic books. Written by a woman.
So is God of War.
Yeah.
One of the heads of the God of War studio is a chick.
So...
And they're like, oh, this is degrading to women. It's like, no.
Well, if anything, I mean...
a chick okayed this shit.
Yeah. It was just... and again, like I said, 2 people don't make the series. I can't imagine... I can't even begin to, fathom what another Gears is going to look like on next gen. Same thing with Uncharted and God of War and the AAA studio games. Yeah, the racing games always look good, but I can't even picture what the hell and there's such a great story, and reading all the books and knowing that just because Gears 3 is the end, there's so much more left. There's just 14 years from E-Day until what happens in Gears 1, 2, and 3, because that takes place about a year. So there's 14 fucking years. And then there's even before that.
Yeah, I don't look at it as the end of Gears of War. I look at it as the end of Marcus and Dom's story. These are honestly, 2 soldiers in a war.
Not even. There's so much more of their story that they can tell.
I don't think they're going to revisit those 2.
Maybe Marcus.
Okay.
And Carlos, Dom's older brother, who dies before E-Day. I can see them doing a scenario like that. But anyways... Gears 2 is my number 1 be all end all. I'll never get rid of my Xbox because of the Gears franchise unless they can put it on on any next system,
Quickly before I hop into my number 1, I actually think that's going to happen. I think you're going to get within a year or 2,
like a trilogy or
collection. You're gonna start getting these $60.
So
you're gonna start getting them. I think I'll be able to buy the Uncharted trilogy, the Gears of War trilogy for the new systems.
Go get
all on one disc.
I couldn't go get all my Gears swag right now because I have so much of it. Back on when I think of retro games, my franchise was Legend of Zelda. Current gen is Gears of War. That's it for me. That's my be all end all.
I got too many this gen. Mine's Uncharted, but in a second place tie is like Halo and Gears and Ratchet and fucking God of War, and there's just too many. And they're all so tightly knit. It's ridiculous. Number 1, Halo Reach. I obviously I'm not in your guys' heads, so I don't know why it was so low. I understand why Gears beat Halo Reach out for you and stuff, but to me this was the pinnacle of the Halo franchise. You want to get some people mad at me right now? I'll do it. That's cool.
Well, really before you jump in, for me, again, I appreciate the Halo games. I wasn't an early adopter of them. Like I didn't play original Xbox. The first experience I had with Halo 2 was 360 launch night.
Yeah.
Because we had nothing to play on it. So we put in Halo 2. I was like, all right, this is cool. I didn't get into it until I met my girlfriend. Because she's the Halo fan. So, again, for me...
She watches the show, doesn't she?
No, not at all.
Not, okay.
Not anymore. She's like, I'm so sick of listening to you guys talk about video games all the time.
I can piss some people off. Halo Reach is the best story Halo ever had. That'll upset some people, but it's true. Sorry. The campaign... I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to go to the overall game. The parts that it had, again, very similar to Gears 2 and 3, everything was amazing. It had a perfect multiplayer mode, a perfect campaign, and a perfect firefight mode, which was where they took this concept from ODST and made it one of the best horde simulators available, period. And they gave you Forge for the first time. In retrospect, Halo Force Forge is better than Reach's, but Reach is where it came to be. And what Forge is, for people who don't play Halos, it's the map creator. You can do anything. It's free roam. It's an open fucking world on a console, which is unheard of. That's very typical in PC games.
Yeah,
but for a console game, that kind of stuff isn't available. They had very rudimentary Forge modes earlier, but they were junk. They really were.
Tony Hawk's was good, but
I was talking about the Halo series. But Reach's was amazing. And
didn't you modify it during matches too? Wasn't there an option to do that?
I don't know that.
Sorry,
you can go out and do whatever the fuck you want, though.
I
Which is perfect.
didn't mean to, but I was pretty sure that you could change some of the map shit while you're playing too.
Mm-hmm. It's another game, like Mark was saying, that they go back and recreate entire things in. It was so perfect. They went back and made all the famous Halo 1 and 2 maps in Reach before you were able to get, before they, down to the fucking gun drops that were only available back then. It was a little off because the gravity jumps are different between Halo 2 and Halo Reach, but whatever. It was also Bungie's farewell. It was their last hurrah, and prequels are so rare that they're so rarely good. You look at just in the last couple of years with Arkham Origins, which I haven't personally played, but I hear it's the worst of the three. Judgment was definitely the worst of those. Ascension from God of War was definitely the worst in that series.
Tomb Raider, no.
I'll fucking slap you. But it's rarely done correctly, and Halo did it so well. Usually in the Halo games, as big of a fan as I am of that series, you only really care about Chief and Cortana. Reach was the first game that I wasn't completely immersed in your crew. But
because you knew they were going to die.
Well, that too, but it was the only one you began to care about the characters as they were getting one-offed. Instead of just some nameless, faceless soldier who wasn't Chief, they didn't give a shit about. And most important was, to me, was the story overall. It was the Empire Strikes Back of Halo. Everything went wrong, and you knew. It was like watching a car wreck. You couldn't look away. You had to see how it happened, and it's almost why I like Star Wars Episode 3 so much in the last 20 minutes. Besides Anakin's not so hot acting, I liked seeing one of the coolest characters in cinema history become, because you miss the beginning. The first time you're introed to Darth Vader, he's Darth Vader, and that thing where 20 years later where you get to see him become him, I thought was 20 of the coolest minutes in movie history.
If I can't, really quick, I 100% agree with you. It's when you go into it, because if you're any remote kind of fan of Halo, which you're more than I am, but I've read the books and everything, and you knew going into the game that it wasn't going to end well for any of them.
Everything.
You knew right off the bat they're fucked. I love games like that, and I know I kind of missed the boat on Last of Us. We're not going to get
Spec Ops,
whatever. But games that going into it, it's going to be bad. Because Chief is the only surviving Spartan. Mm-hmm. Every single character that you're interacting with is not going to make it to the conclusion of that game. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with Star Wars. Going into Episode 3, how fucked everything already is going to be.
It was so messed up watching Star Wars 3 because you kind of grew attached to Anakin. Mm-hmm. And you kind of... You want him to you see those choices that are coming, and you're like, come on, man, you're better than this. You don't leave her and all this other shit. After he knocks her up and all this stuff, and you're watching and he becomes Darth Vader, and you're still don't do it, dude.
With Judgment,
no, not the younglings.
with Judgment, there was none of that. You knew these people were going to live on.
Yeah,
you didn't care about any of the supporting characters because it wasn't Marcus and Dom. You knew they were going to continue on.
everything was going to end up
yeah, they're going to go through some hardships and shit. But, like, you knew at the end everything was going to be okay as to where... And same thing with... I mean, I know God of War is a little bit more fucked up, but...
it was more about watching his family get murdered.
Yeah,
It was becoming Kratos.
Yeah, and I get that, but, but, like, with Halo... And that's why the only one on my list... Again, I tried to diversify the best that I can. Halo Reach is the only one because that one... Like, I knew how fucked up it was going to be going into it. And that final scene... Again, I'm not trying to steal any of your thunder... When the helmet starts fucking, your visor starts cracking and shit. There's no music. You just hear the wind, and then you just follow, and it's the side cam fucking view. Awesome. That's why, regardless of all that other bullshit from last year, why Walking Dead was my game of the year. It's because you knew how fucked up that was going to be. You knew every one of these motherfuckers are going to die. Yeah. If you know anything about Walking Dead, you knew all of them were gone. Same thing with Reach.
I loved it. I like now. I'm getting.
They could have even left out the scene where you saw the rocket with Master Chief. Didn't even need to be there.
Yeah,
didn't even need to be there.
I'm getting chills replaying this all in my head now. That's how much I love this fucking game, and that's actually what I was going to close on. I'll add a little to it. Was the ending scene? It was the you see now where everything came from because there's so many references to this mysterious planet Reach throughout the series. And they had a lot to live up to where they had to create the world around you that they've been referencing for games.
It was a lot of build-up.
And then you got to see it and experience it and live through what kind of kicked this all off. You didn't exactly get to see the shot heard around the world that started everything, but it was pretty damn close. And like Jason said, that's the end of that game was one of the coolest tie-ins I've ever seen, where it's just desolate and there's no winning. It's just how long can you go? The Covenant is surrounding you.
Do you know how long you made it?
10 minutes.
Oh, man.
I made about 5. Andy's got like 25 minutes.
Honestly, the first time through, I was playing on Legendary. We made it probably maybe a minute at most. So it was a little bit anticlimactic because I was hoping to fight off. No, there's just no way.
And really quick, if I can, one more point before we let you wrap up Halo. Coming off of how atrocious ODST was and how underwhelming that was, like you had nothing in that game. You were just a soldier. Going into Reach, like it was like going from episode 1 and 2 to episode 3 for Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was the big fucking payoff. It's like, finally, thank you.
Yeah. I loved Reach. Yeah,
it's good. Mark?
It's pretty good, Mark.
Pretty good.
I think it's...
My top 5 I love, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best Halo ever made, but for me it's definitely the best Halo on the 360. It's probably my favorite Halo ever. I don't know, because Combat Evolved holds such a special place in my heart. I'm kind of the reverse of everybody else. Everybody else liked Combat Evolved, but what truly engrossed them in the series was Halo 2 because of the multiplayer. But as I've said many, many times, I'm more of a campaign guy, and Halo 1 got me hooked. And Halo 2 was, campaign-wise, one of the weak points of the series. But Reach was... That's why it's such an amazing game. Firefight is so underrated, and the backlash that Halo 4 got from trying that new bullshit Spartan Ops shit and keeping... It would have been fine to add a new mode, but the fact that they kept Firefight out, I think they saw what a big mistake that was. The backlash they got in Halo Reach, it is so good. The multiplayer is top-notch, and the campaign, I think, is the best one they've ever had.
When you take out, Horde mode.
What?
When they took out Horde mode.
Yeah.
No Horde mode in Judgment.
Yeah, in Judgment. Another big misstep, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's fine to add modes, like what they did with Halo 3. They added, or with Gears 3, with Gears 3, they added Beast mode. They didn't replace Horde mode with Beast mode.
No.
It's like, just, if you want to add, fine, give me another mode. Don't fucking take staples away from the series.
I was also very disappointed they renamed People Can Fly this week, too. It's now Epic Poland or something like that. Stupid.
Epic East or something.
No, it's Epic Poland.
No.
Okay.
No. Epic Poland.
Nope. I refuse to acknowledge that.
Epic Poland.
Final thoughts!
Gonna miss my 360.
I'm gonna miss this generation. I hope it just gets better though. We'll see.
I think it will. We've. Or sorry, go ahead. You guys final thought it up.
I've got a question. What are you gonna miss more? Since I mean, like this is it. This is we're done with this generation. When
by the time we talk to you guys again, yeah.
What are you gonna miss more? Your PS3 or your Xbox?
My Xbox. I had it longer, a little more memories on it.
You know, I mean, realistically, this is the last week to really enjoy them. Yeah, you'll probably go back for nostalgia or whatever purposes, you know, or you know, they might not get shelved as quickly. I know Mark's probably gonna have his gone in a week, you know, but what are you gonna miss more? Your Xbox?
Yeah, my Xbox. You can always go back for one. It'll be like $100.
I don't know. We talked about this a couple weeks ago that I think this is the best generation ever. Like, my heart says to give it to the 8-bit systems.
Yeah.
But realistically, like, without blinders on, this is clearly the best.
Yeah, I mean, for us, though, I think the 8-bit will always be the most nostalgia.
Yeah.
You'll always look back. Like, even if this is even if this is the best, you know, ever, there's that golden age that you're always going to look back on.
You have the blinders on.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you're realistic about if you're true to yourself, I think you have to admit that this is the best generation we've ever had, and that gives you hope. You got to look forward and think that
compatible.
They have all these tools that made this generation so great, and what I'm hoping for more than anything is this upcoming generation is exactly like this generation, but prettier and faster. Like the PS3 had, you know, atrocious download times and all this stuff because the internet was different back then. But, you know, now these things are more prepped for a more digital future. And as long as everything's the same but looks prettier with a couple new shiny features, see, I don't think...
It's for me, I'm not going to be able to say goodbye as quickly because I'm not jumping on to the PS4. So my PS3 is going to have a little bit longer shelf life. And I can't retire my 360 because my last two purchases came out 2 weeks ago. I've got Batman Arkham Origins, which I've lent to a buddy. So go ahead, play it. Because I know I'm going to want to play that, but I've got time. And then I'm playing WWE. My next WWE game isn't going to be out for a full year. That usually lasts me into the summer. That's my Madden. So those my systems are still relevant, but I know, like you said, your 360 is probably going in a drawer. You are already getting... So, I mean, that's why I posed that question to you guys. Me, it's a little different. For me, like I said a couple weeks ago, I feel that this first year of the new systems is a soft launch. You know, there's going to be a lot of overlap, at least for the first year.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know how to answer this. Like, the 360 and the PS3, Jesus. I think... The 360... I have such amazing memories with both consoles. Like... The 360, I look back and I remember all the good times I had party chatting with friends and playing games, all the jokes and goofing around. It was like a buddy system. You know what I mean? Whereas the PS3 to me was a solo
experience.
Yeah, nobody knows what I experienced on the PS3.
I know how you feel with Grand Theft Auto.
Like the PS3, the PS3 blew me away time and time again with the single player experiences, whereas Xbox blew me away with all the multiplayer and some really really amazing first or single player experiences as well. I don't know what I'm gonna miss more. I truly love both these systems.
Yeah, for me, and it's almost like we're graduating from high school. Like we're all gonna keep in touch, but we're all kind of. Like, you have the advantage of going to both. Mark and I probably won't play another game together for at least another 2 years.
Womp womp.
You know, I mean, realistically,
though,
when you think about it, you know, and then, like, Andy's going to have an Xbox One, but he's not going to have a PS4. I don't think he has any option. I don't even know what half my other friends are getting because I haven't talked to them about it. So it's kind of this weird transition, especially with such the focus on multiplayer. And I completely agree with you with single player experiences because I've had a ton of those, but like from the multiplayer aspect, because these two systems are so close together, it's like now there's not one defined platform to go to. It's like everybody's being spread out. It's kind of sad.
Spreading your cards.
Yeah, I think for me, my PS3 is going to have a longer shelf life. The 360 is not even being supported essentially anymore. So my 360 is promptly getting thrown in a drawer. The only reason would be to pull it out would be to play something that I already own because I want to play it again.
Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, what's coming out? Can you name a game on their South Park?
Which, by the time it'll probably be next gen because it now got delayed till March
and
again.
if not, that's completely off your radar at that point anyways.
Yeah.
Whereas the PS3 is going to have to stick around because I still have Ratchet and Clank and I still have Gran Turismo 6 to look forward to. Plus PlayStation Plus, like, they're
going to give away a lot of good free shit on the PlayStation 3 now that they're shifting focus over to.
I don't
That's where I'm going to make up a lot of that back catalog.
I don't think my PS3 is going to get turned, like, put in a drawer. I keep all my systems. I have everything. But I don't think my PS3 is going in that drawer for at least a year or two. I just looked at the next...
drawer of shame.
I just looked at the drawer of awesome. My NES sitting next to my
You're
Super
no good no more.
Sitting next to my Dreamcast, sitting next to all
You're
my
no
shit.
longer my normal hookup.
But just next month alone, we're getting like... Well, November. You're getting like 3-4 new PlayStation 3 games. I'm getting like 3 Vita games, like 2 or 3 PlayStation 4 games. It's crazy. Like I can't put the PS3 away and just not play any of this free shit. Like, whereas Xbox isn't doing any of that, so it's just like whatever.
It's been dead since like early this year.
Xbox has been it's been dead since Judgment.
Yeah.
And since that ended up sucking.
I got a little bit more life out of it, but
all third party stuff though.
Yeah.
So I mean, the 360 is going to be a lot easier to put away, I think, in my opinion, because Microsoft's going to focus everything on the Xbox One, and they're going to nickel and dime you on both sides, which is why I'm assuming I don't think you'll be able to go back and buy every game, but I think you'll be able to go back and buy like the Uncharted's and Red Dead Redemption and some of the Halos,
there'll be a
the Gears ones.
I think that's when you'll
We're
see
gonna do Ratchet and Clank.
Halo 2
That'll get around
anniversary that's been rumored for a while will be on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? You know.
So I think all that stuff you'll be able to acquire. So I you'll still have to go back and play some of the great titles that don't have as much pull, like to me, like Tomb Raider or something. I don't think that'll ever get ported up, but I think the big blockbusters will. So you'll just have to wait a bit.
Yeah.
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 That'll do it. This has been episode 92. Episode 2. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place.
Catch us next generation.
Enjoy your PlayStation 4s if anyone else has get there.
Unboxing videos.
Greatness awaits.
This week. Sometime. Friday. Thursday. Maybe Thursday. Thursday, Friday. Saturday?
Tomorrow's Monday. It's fucking 4 days away. Hell yeah, dude.
Man, no. It's me excited.